have a little guilty confession to tell you about, so stick around and see what I have to say. Holy cow, what is that sweater? I need to knit it. I need to drop everything and knit this thing. Melissa, get up and knit me. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm Melissa, and this is Melissa Knits for Fun. Well, this week, guys, I've got a lot of whips to update you on, including one that I put down and I haven't touched for a little bit, but I've picked it up this week and worked on it a little. And I also have a little guilty confession to tell you about, so stick around and see what I have to say. And guys, if you've been enjoying my channel, be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on a minute of all of the yarny goodness on this channel. And I will start out with what I'm wearing. And guys, this cardigan right here, it was like my gateway drug for both test knits and drops yarn, specifically drops air. Well, it was about a year ago, probably a little bit over a year ago, because I got this done and one other test knit for Valentina before the end of the year. So Valentina Bogdanova, or Valentina Knits, put out a test call for this cardigan. And this cardigan is the twirl lace cardigan. And I fell in love with it because it's got two different textures. You can see here, this sleeve and this body are all cabled. This body and this sleeve are just textured, and it's almost like little squares. But it's just a texture, there's no cables. And then if you look at the back, I'm going to turn around and not speak while I was turned around, but there's cables on the back as well. And it just spoke to me. So I applied to test knit. I'd never test knitted before. Valentina is one of my favorite designers. I love her intricate yokes that she does. They're just stunning and beautiful, and she does really nice cables. I've been in love with her patterns for a long time, and I own a whole lot of them. So when she put out a test knit, and it was this cardigan, and I was like, oh, I need a good cardigan, it just spoke to me. And she accepted me into the test, and she used drops air. Well, this gave me an excuse to go out there and buy some drops air. So I did. And funny enough, she had done a miscalculation on how many grams that you needed. She calculated it as if the ball of drops air was 100 grams versus 50. So when she put it out, I wound up buying like 20 balls of yarn. And I used a little bit over 9. So I had a lot left. I've made another sweater using this color, and I've got enough for probably another sweater if I do a color work. Love drops air, so I'm not complaining. So I got all of that in. I was so excited, and then I knitted this up, and it quickly has become one of my favorite cardigans. This is the one that sits next to me in my chair. I use this whenever it starts getting cold, even in the summer. If I'm cold because the air conditioner is on, I'll grab this and put it on for just a minute to warm up. And boy, am I glad that I did this. Of course, like I said, it was the gateway drug to test knitting. And I followed it up with a test knit for her again, then one with Crayabea, and now I think I've completed 12 this year. If I work really hard, I might get a 13th done, but I doubt that I'm going to get a 13th done this year. But I either have gotten 12 or 13 done. So it really, really tipped me over, but boy, am I glad it did. And I'm so glad that I learned about drops. I really, really enjoy this yarn. Now, I will tell you, this is the medium gray. I wish I had gone maybe a little bit lighter so you could see the textures more. You can definitely see that there's some texture going on, but you can't really just see it. I wish maybe I'd used like the pearl gray or something, but I am not going to complain because I love this cardigan, and it goes with everything. I just wore it to the grocery store with some sweats. I love this thing. It just goes with everything. And the color, of course, goes with everything as well. Now, you may be sitting there thinking, drops air peels. Yes, drops air does peel. But I have this fantastic little comb. I think it may be called a cashmere comb. It may be called a de-pilling comb. I honestly do not know. But I got this with one of my orders. I ordered it from Holst Garn. And then I told Letha about it, and I'm like, oh, you should bring them in because it's so perfect. You just simply shave your knits, and then it pulls off the pills. And then you just throw away your little thing of yarn, of fuzz. It's great for keeping your knits up. So if you order from Holst, throw one of these in there. It's $5 or $6. I don't know how much it was. Or if you have a local yarn store that sells Holst, maybe get them to order some of these with their next order. It is just the neatest little thing, and I am not being sponsored by anybody. I just happened to buy this, and I used it the other day, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is fabulous, because I've been trying to find a really good way to de-peel my knits. I've tried a razor, I've tried the little electric thing. This works better than all of them. So, just your little tip for the week. All right. Now, let's pivot and get into what everybody really comes here for, which is to talk about knitting and what I've been working on. And guys, I got some beauties to show you this week. I'm going to finish off with my test knits, but I'm going to start with my gift knit. So, I thought that I was going to have this done this week. I was really hopeful that I was going to have this done this week. I do not have this done this week. I do have quite a bit of it done, and I am stuck there. All right, I have both sleeves done. I have 2 sleeves, 2, count them, 1, 2. And I've got, this swallows me. It's almost a dress on me. But I've got, including the ribbing, probably about another 4 or 5 inches to go. And this is the Hanstholm Sweater by Petite Knit. I'm knitting out of Holst Garn Tides held double. And it is just a beautiful fabric. It is their wool and silk blend. And you can see the little silk nips where you get kind of this tweedy fabric. It's just going to look great on my brother. And honestly, I have a little extra time if I needed to put this down and concentrate on something else, because we are actually not going to get to see each other until around Martin Luther King Jr.'s Day, because I've decided not to go down there just because of timing. I want to make sure that I get to see my aunt, who is 95. I don't know when she's planning on coming back in town. I don't know what it looks like. My brother has to work. He's not going to have any time off. His car has been acting up, so we don't really want him to come up here. We live about 3 hours apart. So we're just not going to see each other until about Martin Luther King's Day, because we're both off that day, and I can take a half day on the Friday before and head down there. And so I've got until then. I won't need to have it done because I'll take it down to him, but I really do want to get this done. I'm hoping to get this done by next week, so it's done before Christmas, and I can put it down and not stress about it over Christmas. But this will be done very, very soon. I just, like I said, have a little bit more here to go until it is long enough. And just, it really is stunning. Look at that pretty raglan detail. This is like the male version of the no frills sweater. And it's just, it's beautiful. It is cut for a man. I mean, when I wear it, I feel like I'm wearing a guy's sweater. So I really, really appreciate that about this design. All right. So I also want to show y'all why I was like, oh, I am taking this in there this week, because Letha has made it to where it is really, really easy for me to bring these cones in here. I want you to look at this. My 2 cones, Letha made this bag, and she asked me, she's like, will you use this? I made it kind of as a prototype to see. It's got a little square bottom and all. And I was like, yes, I'll use it. And she was like, well, here, you know, have at it. And look at that. My cones fit in there perfect. And so now it just sits next to me. I take it to the yarn shop. When I knit at the yarn shop, it just sits there. And I just simply pull up the yarn out of it. And then the project packs right on top of it. It's perfect. Shout out to Letha and thank you. And guys, if you're looking for a really good project bag, check out Letha's shop. If you're local, go in there and look. And if not, call her up and see if she'd be willing to shop with you, or if she'd be willing to make a bag. I don't promise that. I don't know if she's probably sitting there watching this going, stop telling people I'll custom make bags. I have no idea if she will or not, but no harm, no foul asking, right? All right. So that is my one and only gift knit. The other 3 that I showed y'all that I was done with, Last week, I think it was, they are flying their way to Massachusetts. They should be there tomorrow. I record on Wednesday, so they should be there Thursday. Or no, I'm sorry, Friday, because they said the 19th. Should be there Friday. And hopefully I will get some pictures of happy little ones wearing them, and I'll be able to share those next week on the podcast. And I will go ahead, I'll pop up some pictures up here so that y'all can see them if you missed any of my previous podcasts, so that you can see what I'm talking about. It's 2 little dresses and a little Henley sweater that are on their way to Massachusetts for some of the most knit-worthy and sweetest kids I know. My brother's gift knit is it for the gift knitting. Now, I do have a knit-along that I'm also involved in, and that is the Kuto Kavika knit-along with Lovely Day Knits. And I am making the Salty Days sweater. And I am making this out of Tick Lena by Sandus Garn. And this is a cotton viscose linen blend. And it is the thick one. It's the worsted weight. And I had put this down for a little while because I was so frustrated with myself over the collar, because I kept trying different things thinking that I knew better than Veronica Lindbergh, who designed the pattern. She knows what she's doing. She's a great pattern writer, but again, I'm brilliant. I knew more. And so I decided that I needed to pick up less stitches. Well, that didn't work. And I was using a size 4 instead of a 2.5, or that would be a 3.5 millimeter and a 3 millimeter, I believe it is. I was using a 3.5, and she calls for a 3. So I picked up half the number of stitches. Well, then I couldn't get it over my head. Then I decided I'd do a 4, but I'd pick up all of the stitches. Well, I got to this point, and when I would hold it up, the collar was just flopping everywhere because it just wasn't tight enough. So I finally gave in and said, okay, maybe she knows better than me. You know, she did design the sweater after all. And I picked it up using a US 2.5 or a 3 millimeter. And look at that collar. I've got 7 rows. I'm supposed to do 27 and fold it down. It looks so good right now. I almost want to stop. However, this is heavy and it is a cotton blend yarn. I know that it's going to weigh down and it's going to want to pull. And I think that if I fold it over and have the double folded collar, that it will give it more structure and keep it up here more without having to put in a crocheted thing around or what's that called, elastic thread or anything. I'm hoping that it will give it enough structure that it'll keep it where it goes. You can weigh in on that if you have any experience with that. But this, I am so thrilled with this and cannot wait to get it done. I mean, I won't be able to wear it for a few more months because it is going to be sleeveless. I'm not putting any sleeves on it. I think what I'm probably going to do is I'll pick up around here and do like an I-cord, an applied I-cord, so that it has some kind of finishing there. It doesn't totally need it, but I think that I would just feel better if I did that. So that's what I'll do. But I've got this collar to get done, and then I just finished off that. I've got another little thing like this, and then I believe I just have the 2x2 and then the final twisted rib or half twisted rib on the bottom. So I did buy some more yarn for this because I ran out. This is the very last ball that I had, and that will be in my acquisitions, but I did buy some more. It may be a different dye lot. I'm sure it's a different dye lot, and it may look a little bit different, but you know what? It's a discontinued yarn and I don't have a whole lot of choices. So I was gonna rip it out whenever I saw I wasn't gonna have enough yarn, but no, it just looks too good. I mean, look at that. It really is stunning, and this is one of my colors. So that is the update on that. I finally picked it up. I've started working on it again, and I'm really excited. I doubt it'll get done before the end of the year, but you know what? Miracles happen. My red sweater got done. This might want to be a sweater bad enough that it just kind of knits itself. We shall see. Now, moving right along, I have one more thing that I'm working on that is not a test knit. Now, I haven't devoted a ton of time to it because I really am trying to focus on my gift knit and on my test knits to make sure that I hit my deadlines. But guys, this one, and I have seen this in a ton of people's winter plans, pattern roundups, talking about this sweater. I'm usually not one that says, oh, look, a new pattern came out and I have to interrupt my regularly scheduled knitting in order to knit that pattern. Well, this was an exception. Oh my gosh, Adorable Knits. Dorothy Officers, maybe? But anyway, she's known as Adorable Knits, and she's Adorable Knits on Instagram as well. She posted a picture of her wearing this sweater on Instagram, and I went, holy cow, what is that sweater? I need to knit it. I need to drop everything and knit this thing. Well, she wasn't even calling for test knitters yet. So I stalked her page. I had notifications. I am watching her. And she sent out, you know, you can sign up to test knit for me. Whoa, I went and signed up. Yes, I did. And then she sent out this test knit thing. And I'd already planned out. She said what kind of yarn she was using. I'd already planned it out. I bought my Drops Air. Man, I was ready to go. If I got picked, I was ready. I was casting on the day that I got picked. Well, I did not get picked to test knit. And that's okay, because I was like, whoop, does not matter. I have the yarn. I am ready, and I'm buying that pattern the day it comes out. And boy, Heidi, did I buy that pattern the day that it came out. Now, I didn't cast on for a week or so. But my yarn was sitting there waiting for me, and that pattern, whoo, honey, that pattern is stunning. Stunning. And I have gotten quite a bit done. Not quite ready to split for sleeves, but I'm getting close. And let me see if I can get this down. I've gotten the first 2 parts of the color work chart done. These are the first 2 little parts, and I just did some plain stockinette in the silver that then I will go into more color work, and I think you might be able to see it a little bit better back here. Look at that color work. Holy cow, is this gorgeous. Boy, I am glad that I went out there and I snagged this and I started working on it. And yes, it is worth interrupting your regularly programmed knitting in order to start knitting on this. It knits up fast. It's beautiful. I wish y'all could feel this fabric that it makes. This Drops Air is so, so pretty. It looks a little bunched right there. That's not my floats. It's actually the cable's a little bit small, so you can see I can stretch it out and I don't have any weird bunching. Again, did not catch my floats. And I've got some pretty long ones down here. Not catching them. Drops Air, it will, whoop, it'll stick together. Alpaca likes each other already. It's kind of like mohair that way. So, this again is the Wintersoul. I don't think that I told y'all the pattern name. I told y'all who it was. But this is the Wintersoul by Adorable Knits, and it is just stunning. I did see where I believe it's Sherry from Good Knits. I think she's the one that was talking about knitting it. No, I'm wrong. It was Yeji. Yeji was talking about it, and she is making it in a like cream and burgundy. I think that's just going to be stunning. And they're casting on, she's casting on with Rubies and Pearls maybe. Anyway, another podcaster, they're casting on around December the 15th. So I'll be watching her January video to see her progress and see where she's at. I'm hoping maybe I can get this done in the middle of January. But just beautiful. If you have not seen this pattern, guys, go check it out. Woo! It is gorgeous. And like I said, it knits up really fast. It's on a 4mm needle, so it goes pretty quickly. And it calls for worsted weight. She used Majo Puno, I think, which this is just a hair smaller than that, but I'm knitting one a little bit larger than normally I would. So far, it seems to be fitting well. I've tried it on, and it seems to be laying really nice. So that's what I've gotten done with anything that's not test knitting. Now, I have 3 test knits going right now, and they are all coming along very, very well. And I will start in the order that they are due. And the first one that I have is the Fosteriana. And if you remember last week, I showed you I had 2 sleeves done. One was blocked and one was unblocked. Well, they're both blocked now. Look at that. Look at that. If you saw them last week, you would have sworn that I was going to hold this up and I was going to have one that was way up here because of how scrunched up it was and how little it was and everything else. But look at that. They're both the same size. They both lay really nice. The color works really nice. No scrunchy. But I did find one thing. I think in my hurry and not hurry, but my eagerness to get it bound off last week, I dropped a stitch. There's a stitch right there that is a live stitch. So something told me, and in here, I usually, whenever I get to the end and I've done my bind off and everything, I usually go ahead and I'll do this all down through what would have been the purl side on that side. I go ahead and do it all and I snip my yarn. Well, this time I just barely put it through. Something must have told me something was wrong because this will be really easy just to pull out, rip it back. I'm not even going to have to rip it back. I'm just going to have to take the bind off part out. And then I will simply walk this back up. I'll get it all on a needle and I'll go from there. It won't take me long, but I am going to wait until I get the rest of my sweater done to make sure that I can't, that I do meet my deadline and then I can get pictures and everything. Cause that's like, it's on the inside. I think I can hide it if I need to take pictures. I just won't show that side of that part of my arm, but I'm sure that I can get it done, but I do want to wait until I get the whole thing done so that, God forbid that something happened and I have to unravel half the arm. I don't want to be in the middle of trying to get this done, but you can see I have made some pretty good progress. No need for a progress keeper here, guys. I can tell you exactly how much I knitted. Look at that little line of demarcation between blocked and unblocked. And the reason why it is so evident is that this is a yarn that has spinning oil in it. So it blooms like crazy. You can see, and I'm going to try to get close enough so that y'all can see the difference in the stitches. I want you to see, look at how uneven these stitches are, right? You can see like little holes, little gaps. The stitches are a little uneven. And then look at this. Look at how nice that is. And I'm going to see if I can show. It's got a little halo to it. It's just an absolutely beautiful yarn. And this is the J.C. Rennie Super Soft, and it's Oogie Pearl. And this Fosteriana is created by the very talented Melanie Roundtree. If you're looking for something to knit, guys, I'm going to give her a little plug here. She is not sponsoring me. She has not asked me to do this. She has no idea I'm doing this. But I'm going to give her a little plug, because if you're still like, oh my gosh, I need to test knit, or I need to knit something for somebody for a gift. Oh my gosh, we've got a Christmas party and I got to get this done. I need to knit something. She has 4, I think it is, cowls that would be super quick knits. She's got one that's the Forest of Arda. She's got one that's like really cute, like little Rudolph kind of, it's reindeers on there. She's got one with the Fosteriana with the tulips on it. And then she's got one that's this beautiful little, I don't think it's a cable, I won't swear to that, but it's this just beautiful little design. She just released it. Go check her Instagram out. Oh, she is so talented, and hopefully there's going to be a sweater in the works for that last cowl, and hopefully yours truly will get to test knit that again. Plug. Hey, Melanie, if you're watching. So anyway, she knows, right? And I've talked a lot about this on this channel. I love test knitting for her. She's great to test knit for, and she just has lovely designs. And this is no exception to that. She has an absolutely lovely design. I've got obviously a bit to go. This would be awfully cropped if I decided to wear this. I would not be leaving my house because it would be a little indecent, because it's only like right under my bust line. Like my bra would be peeking out if I wore it. So obviously it's just a little bit too cropped, but I don't have that much more to go until I will start my color work, because the bottom of this has 2 full tulips on them, and then stems that come down, and then I will duplicate stitch some little bees. They're very, very cute, and I cannot wait. So I am knitting on this every chance I get, and I've gotten this much done in the last week just simply knitting, basically in meetings. I've taken it some places with me. This one's pretty easy to throw as well. I can throw this. I had to put the cone on here because I said last week, I said, oh, no problem. I'll have enough, you know, I'll be able to finish off that sleeve and all this. No. I had to pull out the cone. So this cone fits in that little bag as well. If I don't want to take my brother's sweater and I want to take this, I just swap them out and I put it in the bag and off I go. And I pull this out at the doctor's office, at the dentist office, wherever I happen to be, and I knit away. And I will probably be knitting on maybe this one, we'll see. I will be knitting on something in the dentist chair whenever I have to go get some fillings replaced because they're 20 years old and they need to be replaced. So I will have probably this with me. It knits up really quickly, even though it is on a US size 2 or a 2.75, I believe it is. Yes, 2.75 millimeter needle. These are little bitty guys, but even with the little needle and the thin yarn, it does knit up pretty quickly for me, which I love fingering, so I could just knit on this all the time. I could knit this in my sleep probably. So I won't have it done next week, but maybe right after the first of the year, and it is due on January the 14th, so definitely by then. All right, my next one is due on January the 22nd, I believe it is. It may be the 26th. It's the 20-something. Let me get off of the needle that I'm sitting on there. And it is the Woody Pullover. And I have got one side picked up. So I've got the back completely done, and I'll turn this around and show it to you. I've got the back completely done, and it is ready for Michelle, for me to hold it up against Michelle to make sure that it all looks good. And then I've got one shoulder picked up. And you can see, you know, it tells you in these kinds of drop shoulder constructions, they'll tell you to do the back, and then you put those on hold. And then you pick up your front and you knit it. And then you put those on hold, and then you pick up the other side and you knit it, and you connect the two fronts, then you knit for a little while, then you put it all in the round and all this. I don't do all that. I don't put all these things on hold. I get me one long needle, and then I use that one needle. So I have gotten the left front picked up. I think I've got to get to row 82 before I switch over to the other side. That may be right. I may be wrong about the row, but anyway, I've got to get to a certain row. Then I snip the yarn, then I pick up over here. It is a V-neck, so then I'll connect it all together. But when I do that, then I will simply pick up over here. And then the last thing that you do when you connect them is you knit across and you cast on a few things. With the V-neck, I'm not sure how much I'll have to cast on, or if I'll just, I don't know. I don't know enough about V-neck construction. It'll all work out because the pattern will tell me what to do. And I've seen some finished ones. They're absolutely stunning. So I will get that done. And then I will, whenever I join it in the round, I'll still use this needle. And I'll just have one needle. So I don't do that. I don't put them on hold and use different needles. But this is, again, the Woody Pullover. This is by Lehman Crafted, or I believe her real name is Rita Dowd. And it is just stunning. It's this beautiful little ribbed pattern, a 2x2, and then it's got these little ridges that kind of separate it. And as you can see from the back, it really is pretty. And then this color is simply stunning. It is Cascade 220 in Ginger. It doesn't do a whole lot for me. I don't like it. But boy, I cannot wait for y'all to see this on Michelle. It looks stunning on her. And she and I are going away the day after Christmas. We're headed up a couple of hours away from here to Lake Wilhelmina. And we're just going to hang out and have a little bit of fun and just be together. And I'm going to primarily work on this because my model will be right there. And hopefully I will get it split for sleeves and she can try it on and we can make sure everything's fitting properly. I'm hoping to get this side done and this side at least started before we go away. Gives me a couple of weeks, and I am on a 2-week furlough starting this Friday, so I will be off work for 2 weeks and I will have a lot of knitting time. All right, so one more to go. And this one, guys, it is not due until March. Yeah, March something. Wow. It has been calling to me. It has been calling to me. It has been calling to me. Telling me I need to work on it. Now you can see the back. Got the color work done. It's simply beautiful. Love it. You can also see where I blocked it for the swatch, because I have gotten to where I use part of my project for my swatch because it gives me a big enough surface and I can check, and it's not that much more if I had to rip it out and redo it with a different needle size than making all of these little swatches in different needle sizes. I'd just rather, if I get gauge, I'm able to just pick up and go and it's all great. I was a little bit off up here, and so I'd only done this much, so it wouldn't matter. So I went up one needle size for the rest of it. And people tell you to do that anyway with color work. And so I probably would have done it for my color work anyway. So I just went up one size, got gauge, no problem. And then as you can see, I have done both shoulders and I have joined it and I have started the color work in the front. So it is just really, 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 really stunning. And it's just one of these that really wants to be a sweater. And it's been yelling my name. I mean, I'm laying there in bed and I swear I hear it going, Melissa, Melissa, get up and knit me. And so I do, right? Sometimes at 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. But I do get up and I do knit a lot because I'm in my no sleep phase. All right. I got so excited about it, I didn't tell y'all anything. I should probably tell you. This pattern is the Lynx sweater, and it is by the Crayabea or Rebecca Clow. I have test knitted for her before. She was my first test knit of the year. And then she's going to, in all likelihood, be my last test knit. I won't get this done this year, but she'll be like my last test knit that I started this year. And it is just beautiful. It's stunning. I've been watching this on her podcast and I've been like, yes, please. Yes, please. I want an Argyle. I have an Argyle sweater in my closet. It's beautiful. It's black and red and gray and it's stunning. I bought it at the store. I want an Argyle sweater that I knitted. And so I was so excited when I saw her come out with this pattern, when I saw it show up on her podcast. And I was like, yep, I'm going to apply to test knit that. Well, I've applied for most of her test knits this year. And other than the Kathy cardigan that I got at the first of the year, I haven't gotten another one. So I was like, well, I'll apply. Probably won't get anything. She came out with 5. I applied for all 5 of them and thought, well, I don't know if I did something or if it's just luck of the draw, because I know that she has thousands and thousands of people that apply. So I was like, whatever, it doesn't matter. And then I got picked for this one, which is the one that I really, really wanted. So I was really excited. And it has been just, if I have a spare minute that I don't feel guilty working on it instead of one of the other ones, I will pick it up and work a little bit on it. So I do try to limit myself. Like I did the first 12 rows of the color work. And then I said, I have to put this down and I haven't touched it again today. I'll probably work on it a little bit tonight because, it's talking to me, especially looking at it in this camera. And so with that, I am done with my updates. And now, if y'all have hung around to hear my guilty little confession, guys, I put everything in the washing machine. Everything. This has been in the washing machine. Those will be in the washing machine. My knits go in the washing machine. Superwash? Of course they go in the washing machine. Non-superwash full wool? Yep. Alpaca? Yep. Cashmere? Not really sure if I put my cashmere one in there. I do have a 100% cashmere sweater. I'm not positive that one went in the washer, but I'm not positive it didn't either. Alpaca wool blends? Yep. Silk? Yep. Cotton? Yep. And in the dryer too, baby, so that thing will shrink back up and keep its shape. That's the word I'm looking for. Mohair? Yep. Llama? Yep. It might have felted just a hair, but honestly, I loved the look of it, and it didn't get any smaller. It just became really fuzzy, so I was kind of happy about that. It was the day that it looked like I'd killed Elmo, though, because of the color, and it wound up with llama hair all in there. But it's beautiful, and I love it. Let's see, what else do I stick in there? Acrylic, of course, but I don't really knit with acrylic anymore. The Stellina in those dresses. Yep, that went in there too, and it went in the dryer as well. What else? Is there anything? I'm looking around to see, is there anything that I have not put in the washer? No. I put every one in the washing machine. I do normally they go on delicate, and they don't go in the dryer. They lay flat to dry. The exceptions to this are the cotton, like my Tolsta tees and all that. They go in the washer and they go in the dryer. And they usually just go in with other clothes. I don't worry about it. They just go in my regular wash. And I did do a little experiment on one of my other Drops Air sweaters, because I just wanted to see what would happen. And it was one that I was like, well, if it does felt, if this completely messes it up, I won't be completely heartbroken. I love the sweater. And boy, now that I've worn it a few times, if I felted it, I'd be heartbroken. But then, having not worn it, I wasn't completely sure if I was going to like how it fit. So I was like, well, I'm just going to throw it in there. I threw it in there on a 15-minute wash. I did do cold. I didn't do hot. I'm not crazy. I'm not stupid, I should say. I might be crazy, but I'm not stupid. I didn't put it on hot water. I did put it on cold, but I did it for like a 15-minute wash. That is not delicate, honey. That little agitator goes, and it came out fine. Didn't do anything. In fact, it just looked lovely. Take that with what you want. And if anything on my podcast that I have ever said is going to get some comments, I am certain it is about me putting things in the washing machine. Because I do. I put everything in the washing machine. So, there is that. And that's my guilty confession for the week. Editing Melissa here. I forgot about something that I wanted to talk about. And I'm going to insert this before my acquisitions, I think. So I am going to be doing, over the time that I'm off, I'm going to be doing an Everything I Knit in 2025 video. I have completed, I believe it's 30 items. And I'm on track to have about 31 or 32 done. And if you are following me on Instagram or Facebook, you have actually seen my preview. And I'll go ahead and pop that up here as well so you can see all the things I've knit so far this year. And I need a little feedback. I don't know if I should try to do all of it in one video or if I should split it into test knit version and non-test knit version. Just drop me a line and let me know what you think. And if you enjoyed this at all, go ahead and smash that subscribe button so that you never miss out on anything. And then I have a very small, very small purchase. I would normally be showing you my whole scarn purchase, but, you know, because they got Black Friday, and I'm tempted. Woo! I love their yarn. I mean, hello? Most of this is old scarn. I love their yarn. They are also not paying me to say anything like that. But I did do a fairly large order over for Black Friday, and it is stuck somewhere. The Danish postal system says we gave it to the United States. The United States says we never got it. So I have reached out and asked if they could please start some kind of investigation. We'll see what is said. It should be something fairly easy, but I can't do it. I tried to do it today with the U.S. Postal Service, and they went, yeah, no, you have to go to the originator. You need to get with them, and they will have to be the ones that file it through the original post office over there. I'm like, great, thank you. Way to be a help. But anyway, so one of these days, maybe you'll get to see my whole scarn order. I don't know, maybe. But today, all I ordered 7 more balls of this for my salty days. I was just going to order 6, but then I chickened. I decided I didn't want to play yarn chicken. I wanted to make sure I had enough. I probably have 2 or 3 of these left over. I don't care. I'll try to sell them. I'll do something, or I'll make a hat. I'll do something with them, but I wanted to make sure I had enough because really nervous about getting that done. And then because I was already paying a flat rate shipping, no matter what I ordered, I decided I would throw in this little ball of yarn. And part of the reason why is I absolutely adore these labels. This is Rosa Pomar. And I like the yarn too. I really wanted, I think I've felt this before, but I really wanted some. This is the Vovo, which is the worsted weight. And this says this is Bordeaux, and it does look more Bordeaux than the brownish that you're seeing on the screen, but it's still not completely Bordeaux. I mean, it's kind of a Merlot color. I wanted this just to feel of it, see if I did want a sweater quantity at some point. And honestly, do I want to go to Portugal so I can just go to their store because they have a store in Portugal? I'm thinking that we need to have a trip to Portugal so that we can go to the Rosa Pomar store. Teresa and Michelle, what do y'all think? But no, I really just wanted to see it, feel it, look at the color. It really is pretty. I have some mohair around here that I think would go really well. Actually, I have some alpaca silk that I think really would go well with this. So we'll see. This might become a sweater in the future, but for right now, this is going to be the lone little ball because I am going to try to be conscientious about what I buy next year. Notice I said the word try. All right, and with that, guys, I'm done. I don't have anything else this week. It's been a little hit and miss all week. It's just been leading up to my last day on Friday for a couple of weeks. Got to get all my ducks in a row, and I've got several things I need to get done. And of course, I'm procrastinating. And so the last 2 days, I'm probably going to be, running around like a chicken with my head cut off, trying to get everything done for work before I'm off for a couple of weeks. And then I will have a couple of weeks of just knitting. I'm very excited about that. And I will have the house to myself for a couple of days. So I can just set my own schedule and not have anybody else to worry about. And that'll be kind of glorious as well. All right, guys. This, if y'all are watching it when it comes out, it is going to come out the Saturday before Christmas. So I wish everybody, because I won't see y'all until after Christmas for my next one, I wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, happy whatever you celebrate. And if you just celebrate that you get a day off of work, you go as well. Woo! Go and celebrate that and sleep in. So everybody, I hope that y'all have a fantastic week, and I will see y'all next week with hopefully a finished object. Bye.